welcome to the Katie's Arms. You may have noticed I was having a bit of a rush there. And you may also notice something very strange in the Hopkins life. I know, right? Don't even ask. It is actually water. I know. And don't panic. Just before you think I'm just going to announce that, oh yeah, I've decided, I need to cleanse my soul and my system, and I'm just going to be on, lemon juice for the next 18 years of my life, and also I've gone vegan, and also this is all about, being bloody Gwyneth Paltrow. It's not. The truth is, I know, but I put it in the I know, people say water in the wine glass. I had to do something. I can't stand drinking water. Ugh. And I can't stand all these people that walk around permanently with a water bottle, as you know. But it's only 3 o'clock here. And that doesn't mean I wouldn't be drinking, because I would. Day drinking is absolutely the only way we're going to get through the madness. But I've got to speak in about, 2 hours. I need to be at a VIP reception. It's not really. Why do we even use that word VIP? We need to change that. In fact, we need to change that for Silly Cow as well, don't we? The tour. Because it's not VIP. It just means, you've paid a bit extra and you get to hang out and get a few free drinks that you've probably paid for. But anyway, so I've got to be there. And I've got to be doing what I do. So I thought best not to drink yet. That's the reason. So cheers to everyone else. Get your tits out. No. And also, it would be really, really disappointing. In fact, story. So everyone else, you have to drink for me, please, because, You see all these women. Oh, yeah, this pisses me off as well. Get this. This was the only choice. Know that, otherwise I wouldn't have bloody bought it. The bullshit that goes along with buying water in bottles is, off the chart. So water in bottles is ridiculously expensive. It's a stupid thing. There's water in the effing tap. Look at this. Smart water. Oh, yeah. And so I walk around all day holding this. Yeah. Because it means I'm smarter than you, because I've got smart water. A, it's not smart water. B, don't believe the bullshit. Here we go. Vapor distilled water and electrolytes for taste and purely balanced pH. Oh, piss off. Anyway, this is part of living on the road. I have to drink water all the time because otherwise you fall apart. And I have to be sensible at least until I get on stage, really. And I have a little rule about not drinking until the second half on tour, as many of you will know. Smart water always made me more thirsty because it's full of shit. You know it. And then everyone thinks it's just going to be the cure for life. It's not. All this drinking water. Just another one of those bullshit, wasn't it? Like 5 a day. Do you remember? 5 a day. 5 a day. Have you had your 5 a day? I've had my 5 a day. They're just randomly plucked from an arse of someone who didn't know shit, wasn't it? 5 a day. It was just basically a Chris Whitty. Next slide, please. During the time of the pandemic, just because they're called scientist or professor, they don't really know shit. So they just plucked 5 a day out their arse, and all of a sudden everyone was like, right, we must have 5 a day. A load of old bullshit that was. Anyway, kind of a bullshit time. Oh, water from Peckham Spring. Yes, of course. Back in the day of Del Boys. I don't know if you can hear that noise. That's drilling in a hotel room near me. Hotel life, truly. I've done a lot of hotel life. You hear me? This hotel is lovely. It's fine. It's fine. But there's drilling going on at the minute. The other weird thing about this hotel is it's one of those hotels, and you're going to know this, if you stay in Premier Inns, that sort of thing, when you can hear other people piss in the night. You know what I'm talking about? So it'd be maybe it's 2 or 3 in the morning, so it's quiet, right? And then what you can hear someone get up and have a massive horse piss. Do you know what I'm talking about? In the night. You literally, all you can hear, it's like, this is going to go wrong for sure. But it's like they're having a piss. It's like their penis is and it goes like this. And it's actually making me want to wee a bit. And it goes on and on, at 3 in the morning, on. And then there's the bit where they stop. And then there's just another bit at the end. Because men, I think, men can, that's my old man. So let's try and answer this here at Katie's Arms. Do men have a weird bit of piss that sits like in their winky or just behind their winky? Or is it in their can't be in their testicles because piss doesn't go to testicles. So why is that there an extra? So why after my cup is going to overfloweth? After they've done this massive piss that goes on for like 45 minutes at 2 a.m, there's always that bit. I just half pulled that down my leg. And I always wait for it because I say to myself, I lie there because I'm awake, because once my brain's awake, I'm awake. And I go wait for it, and then you hear, so the question is, the last squirts. Right. It's prostate that causes that. Is it though? No. Because that'll freak people out. People are like, oh God, I've got prostate cancer. And you haven't. No need to go and have someone's thumb put up your bum, unless you choose to. Oh, suits you. Anyway, so my theory is this, that you're weeing if you're a guy, right? And then you stop, but then that bit of wee that's like in your willy, that still has to come out. But somehow men's brains stop because they're looking at their own willy and like their whole brain ceases to function. And then it's not until their brain comes back in that they get to do the last bit. That's my theory. But what's weirder is that in a hotel, you're just listening to men piss all around you. And midweek in cheaper hotels on roads and things where I am, it's mostly men on the road, working and stuff. So there's just a lot of pissing that goes on. I need to tell you a funny story. Hey Katie, do you know? Oh, I couldn't see that. Sorry. These things move so fast, I can't possibly keep up. I'm so classy. I know, I am so classy. When I hear a long man's pee, I think they have a big willy. God knows why. I know what you're saying there, actually. I know what you're saying. The louder the wee, the more that you think they must have a massive willy. I think that probably the opposite is true, because if your willy is further away from the water, it means it's shorter. And that's why you're getting so much. Yes. Anyway, should we move on? Shall we? So, let me tell you what happened to me a day ago, 2 days ago. I was in a train station and I was gagging for a drink because I was like so dehydrated. I don't know what this was. I was a hamster. No, I was so dehydrated. I was like, I better have a drink because otherwise my head's going to be like, ah. And I was going to the Trump rally in Miami. Anyway, there's this shop. There's only one shop in the train station, fancy train station. And it's one of those where it says it's a go thing or whatever, where basically there's no tills, there's no staff, and it's just bullshit. You know what the ones I mean? So the bullshit. Someone here saying no Palestine talk. Frankly, darling, it's the Katie's Arms. It's a pub. I cannot begin to go near the sort of rage I feel about anything to do with this weekend, because if I go on here, I will never ever come back. It will be full force. It will be hurricane force. And this is a pub. So I'm keeping it pub. Other things are afoot. That's all I'll tell you. But I'm keeping it pub. Anyway, I made the bad decision to go into a Go store. So the Go store is basically bullshit store, is what Go stands for. Go stands for go fuck yourself, frankly. And Amazon, take that from me. Go F yourself. Because frankly, I don't want to go in a shop where there's no staff, and I don't want to go in a shop where there's no cashiers. You can go do one, but needs must. So I'm like, oh, God damn it. Okay, I'll go in, I'll get my drink, get out of there. So to get in a Go store, because there's no staff, there's no cash desk, nothing, you tap your card onto the thing, right? Onto to the access point through the barriers. So I did that, which I object to because digital bullshit, you're being tracked, and I'm not a friggin' robot. But tap it on, in you go, Bill. Go to where the ultra bad for you drinks are that make you rehydrated but you shouldn't be drinking, and grab those. Okay, got myself a Gatorade or whatever. Then I go to leave, and there's a barrier, and nothing happened other than that a room full of people in the waiting room were looking at me, and I'm now stuck in a Go shop with a drink. And No one out there. I'm now trying to like style it out. Like, yeah. I wanted to be in a ghost store with a drink. This is fine. I'm fine with this. But inside, I'm like, I'm stuck in a ghost store with a drink and a room of people looking at me, laughing at the fact I can't get out the ghost store. And on the exit barrier, there was like a little bit, which, like on a train station, you might like, so I'm talking about my shorts. I'm worried that my labia might be, poking out the side. Just one bit each side. Hold on. Just rearrange it all back in, it'll be fine. I need to tell you something else that's really embarrassing. In fact, I'm going to tell you it. Let's finish the ghost store thing and let me put these here. This is not a good story. This is not something that I should share. So let's definitely share it. So anyway, I'm stuck in the ghost store. People are looking. I'm stuck. Got my Gatorade, and I'm like, shit. I am stuck in a cashless store. A, I don't believe in cashless. B, I don't believe in digital bullshit. C, I'm not this person. And D, I'm supposed to be like big and feisty, handle anything, and I'm stuck in a store. I look like, like a fish that's just been put in a net. So now in comes big man, beard. And I turned to him and I was like, I've got to do this because I can't ask outwards because that's like a whole audience and I'd have to start doing stand-up or something because I have to overperform my way out of embarrassing situations. So there's a big guy behind me and I'm like, sorry, but I'm stuck in this shop. And bear in mind, I think I'm like 20, but obviously I look like 85. So he's like, sad old lady stuck in the shop. And as you go out, so there's doors, but there's a little thing like you have at train stations where you go with your bloody phone. You're supposed to go boop, 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 scan, fuck off. So I get my Gatorade, right? And I try putting the barcode across the little scanny thing because I was like, well, maybe if I show them my Gatorade, they'll let me out. Like, because, anyway, the guy goes, ma'am, I think you just walk at it. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, good. And he just walks past me, walks towards the barrier boldly, and the barrier's open. It might not sound humiliating to you. Believe me, it was humiliating. And believe me, people watched me try and scan my Gatorade on an exit barrier that doesn't even scan because somehow walking out of a store with something I haven't physically paid cash for blows my mind. And then a lovely other gentleman came to my rescue as well. He said, I was just coming to help you. I felt like saying, well, you took your pissing time. Like, were you just watching to see if I just pissed myself or cried? And I was working out if I could jump the barrier. Like, so I was looking backwards to see what run-up I could get through the store to see if I could jump the barrier with my Gatorade. And if I jumped that barrier with my Gatorade and then a guy behind me just casually walked out, it was terrible. Okay, let me tell you the worst thing. So, what happens? I land here, so I'm in Florida and it's hot, the sun's out, lovely. So I put on shorts and these legs have not seen really the light of day for, well, what's it been in the UK since we had sunshine? I mean, apart from running at whatever o'clock in the morning, and frankly then, I don't give a shit. These things can look how they look. But I looked down at them, I was like, bloody hell. It was just hair and stuff and, old legs. And I was like, and all the Americans walking around with their mani-pedis, with their toenails nicely done. And honestly, the state of my feet as well. I was like, So, my legs have been a work in progress and they're now looking okay. But earlier when I was preparing for this, I looked down and I'm not joking. There is a hair of a certain variety, it's not blonde, literally here, so halfway between my groin and my knee, there was a curly black hair in the middle of, halfway down my thigh. And my question to you is, What's it doing? Why do I now have pubic hairs at my knees? And what's that about? I am only 48 years old. And what part of the genetic coding in me has decided that I now need a muff on my knees? So I literally sat here in my room pulling a hair out of my mid-thigh. I mean, I think it's disgusting. Then, of course, you look online and there's like Davina McCall, age 85, modelling her underwear. Right? Oh, la, 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 la. So-and-so, aged 96, dressed in just a thong. La, 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 la. Oh, here's so-and-so with her tits still like this and everything fine in just a pair of tiny little thing. Just tuned in. What the fuck? If you've just tuned in, we're talking about the fact that my pubic hair is now mid-shin. And no one can explain why. Everyone's just laughing at me. There is no sympathy. There is no understanding. This is not a cool thing. Really going to have to rethink my shaving plan because, you know, typically if it's a skirt, going to do up to the knee. I'm going to have to get going higher than that because the risk is that these pubic things are going to be dangling down below a skirt line. So all these women who are like 55 and modelling a G-string, they can F off, right? And my legs, frankly, they need to have a word with themselves. My bush needs to have a lecture about boundaries because currently it seems to have misunderstood its boundaries and it's aiming for the floor. Okay, where am I in Florida? I am in West Palm. And tonight is, oh yes, I can explain why I'm here and not in my country where I think I should be, but you know, guilt, should be standing at the cenotaph. I probably would be there, but then I can also see how that's going to go down, but also I should be there. Anyway, I'm in West Palm and here we're having one of the, let me explain more sensibly. Hold on, drink of water. You should have left it to see how long it grew. What, like a friggin' sunflower? Oh, sure. Oh, sure, just for your entertainment, sure. Maybe I could have put a little garden cane on it as well, you know, and it, like a sunflower, attached the hair to a cane and sort of trailed it upwards as one would a clematis. Not to be confused with chlamydia. And it sort of, you know, twisted it upwards with a cane on it and see how long I could make the pubic hair grow out the middle of my thigh. Just for your entertainment. Anyway, so January 6th, if you pull back in time, you remember the whole seditious conspiracy, the people that went into the Capitol building, massive MAGA rally all the way down as far as the Lincoln statue. I flew over for it. Amazing day. But also, I believe, a complete setup where intelligence forces were used to make the MAGA Republicans think it was okay to go into the Capitol building, thereby creating this whole seditious conspiracy stuff and thereby being able to take away a whole bunch of very useful people from our side, such as the leader of the Proud Boys. And obviously your thoughts might be different. Your thoughts might be that that was terrorism and that was terrible. But frankly, I know most of those guys and they were sweet little men, big men, who were standing up for their country, and the fact that they're in prison for 20 years, some of them, is just, it's inconceivable. But in the same way that I stand with and continue to support, you know, anybody of our side, Steve, Tommy or Alex, or I have done that with the January 6thers as well. So ever since many of them were put in prison, I've been, you know, trying to be supportive or keep them going or sending emails or whatever. So tonight, the reason I'm here is I'm one of a few people that have been asked to come and support a weekend here in support of the January 6thers. And one of the gentlemen here is one of the ones that was, I mean, what they tried to do to him was just shocking. So it's about January 6th over here and trying to And I get now, this is the thing I really is really important for me here, is whilst if you came to my speakeasies and things, you'll know that I talk of the 80 million Americans here who are with you. So 80 million Americans totally get 20 million British people, and 80 million Americans over here are armed, and they just want you to be as free as you can be, to live your life however you please, as long as you don't interfere with anyone else. And so I've been telling the UK network about these 80 million Americans, and now tonight I get to remind the 80 million Americans, or at least the ones at this conference or event, about the 20 million decent Brits. So it's like a two-way thing for me. I'm kind of over here. I know I only speak for myself, but I do get to remind Americans that decent British people are kind of cheering Americans on as well. So that's what I'm doing, and that's why I'm here. Canada. Dates. Oh, yes. So I need to tell you some things. Lovely Mark is completely terrifying. He's gone rogue. Lovely Mark has gone completely rogue. I've lost control of Lovely Mark. I don't know what's happened. I think the fame has gone to his head because I tasked you guys with getting selfies with Lovely Mark at Babacom. And you did. And I told you to go and ask to touch his knob. And a few of you did that as well, because he was like, Birdie, did you tell ladies to ask to touch my... And I was like, no. He goes, Birdie. And I was like, well, I may have mentioned. Anyway, the fame's gone to his head. He now thinks he's like the big tour manager. And whilst I'm out here doing my best for January 6th, he's back home, like running a tour, putting dates up like a crazy man. We just got offered something slightly crazy in terms of scale. And he's like booking it in. So he's at home while I'm out here, and he's been left unsupervised. He is prostituting me out like a pimp with a heroin addiction. Like, I looked at Silly Cow, Katie's Arms, right? Good thing, if you type in Katie Hopkins Silly Cow, which I'm thinking like my enemies would, those tour tickets come up, which was kind of my thought process. But he's back there. He's like, oh, yeah, she'll do that. Oh, yeah, she'll do that. Oh, yeah, 1,000 people there. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. She totally, yeah, she's got it. Yeah. So if you want tickets for someone, maybe someone that hates me, no, don't have them, because our audiences are really nice and we don't want to pollute them. But so Christmas presents, for God's sake, Silly Cow tour tickets. I may die on the road because Lovely Mark's gone mad. We're in Edinburgh. He told me today, this is on the phone, when I'm like, oh, hiya, how are you? Hiya, how's the dogs? Oh, how are my children? In that order. How's the dogs? How's my son? He was like, yes, we've now got tour dates in every single one of the countries of Great Britain. All right. I only rang for a chat. I only rang to ask what you had for breakfast. He's gone into like ninja manager mode. God bless all our veterans, and rest easy to all those who have served before. That was very brilliantly written. Thank you so much. I love that. Bob Moran had his show cancelled in Newcastle. What a dick. Not Bob Moran. What a dick, owner of the venue. I didn't mean Bob, just for super clarity. I'm talking about the venue being a dick. Cancelling Bob Moran. Do these people know Bob Moran? He's like the cutest, sweetest, most polite. He's like from their side. He's super posh sounding. Fuck's sake. Love you. I love you too. Yeah, no, we're coming to a lot of places in quite a big way. Yeah, Scotland's in there. Edinburgh, there's another date. Wales, I think there's 3 venues in Wales. And this idea of me, you know how I've been cancelled from 45 venues on the last tour. We've been rebooked by all the ones that booked us, and now others are coming in. So in this kind of, you know, taking the swords and the bows and arrows and the stones and the being cancelled, you just got to keep going, and so that's what we've been doing. So Silly Cow Tour is going to be epic, but Lovely Mark's out of control. Someone stop him. Wigan, yes, 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 yes. Go look. I think if it's not up yet, well, Lovely Mark's on it, obviously. In the next couple of days, he's probably going to add another 50 dates, which is brilliant. But Wigan, we've got a brilliant venue. It's massive. The owner's going to put on cash bars so that all of our guys can still buy drinks with their cash, because bullshit to this digital shit. And the guy is just a legend, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but we love him. So Wigan, if you're anywhere near Wigan, get to that. And we've also got a really exciting venue. I can't think what. There's another one that I've just made up with, and there's also a massive venue which has just agreed to take us. So we're just checking it wouldn't upset anybody else that we're already scheduled with. I can't even. How is this happening? Oh, it looked like I'm behind bars. How have we gone to the point where we've suddenly been offered a mega venue, which is where the real professional people go? So I feel like I need to go, could I mention that this isn't what I do? Can I just say, I know you've got Rod Gilbert and all the boys and all the famous ones from TV, but I'm not, I don't do this. Do I just keep pretending I know what I'm doing? Is that the best way? Just keep pretending that I know what I'm doing. Okay. I used to say that to people when I was trying to help. I used to do this thing where I used to try and help young people who were getting into business, and I would say, and I think this about mental health as well, actually, sometimes you're not, and many times, often in my life, you're not what people think you are. And I don't mean that in the monster sense. I mean that you're not as good as people think you are, or you're not as clever as people think you are, or you're not as you don't have the business acumen, or you don't necessarily know how to manage 250 staff, or you don't necessarily know how to do stand-up. Do you know what I mean? Or you feel like shit today, but you need to make an effort because you've got kids. And then I say to people, you know what? Sometimes you just have to pretend, right? Sometimes you just have to act like you do know, and wait for the rest of you to catch up. And I think lots and lots of life is actually that. I think most people out there don't know what they're doing. They're just very good at deciding that is what they're doing, and they'll just hold that line and wait for the rest of them to catch up. And I think if ever you're intimidating by someone, and that's why people have these uniforms, right? They have a uniform or a stethoscope or a badge or a document or a hat, because they're trying to indicate to you that they know what they're doing. But those things are just costumes. So are suits, actually, and so are heels. But if they make you feel more, then wear them high, If dressing up makes you feel more powerful, dress up. If having a shower makes you feel better, do that. And just keep that up until the rest of you catches up. But never ever feel intimidated by someone else. Never be made to feel like you don't know and they do, because that isn't true at all. They don't know. They're just pretending. And often, like an interview, they come in a 3. So they've all got, you're just you. There's 3 of them behind the desk. And think of it that way. It took 3 of them to come and question you. And you're just little old you. What have you got to lose? So fuck it, bring it. And so that's my attitude about stand-up as well. I'll work harder than the hardest working comic out there, and they don't work very fucking hard, in order to write stuff that I think is our stuff. And I'll keep pretending until you guys tell me you don't want to come anymore, and then I will stop. I think that's a fair deal, isn't it? Okay, my loves. Love you all. You'll know that my whole heart will be with everybody at the weekend. And you'll know, please be reassured that our weekend is still ours. And disrespectful idiots can make all the noise they want. But give them no attention, pay them no heed, because decent, ordinary British people know better. And we are gathering, and we are many, many, many more than you know. And 80 million armed Americans are with us as well. You are not alone. We are many, and we are stronger together. So, my darlings, I'll see you somewhere on the road. Do go to Silly Cow tour dates, because lovely Mark apparently is prostituting me out like a hooker with kids to feed. Maybe it's his retirement plan, right? Exhaust me and then he can just fuck off somewhere with some young hottie. And I'll see you somewhere on the road, or I'll see you same place next week when I will, God damn it, I could really use a drink. Cheers. Oh, yes, Sevenoaks. There is, I think it's a Sevenoaks. I believe I've just seen Sevenoaks on the website with Mark uploading shit before I get home to kill him. Okay, love you. Bye.